News Channel 11 has learned that Lubbock County authorities are testing a new program that lets them draw your blood without your consent. They say the program is intended to fight a growing number of suspected drunk drivers who are withholding evidence.
Now, they estimate that 3 out of 4 DWI defendants now refuse to take a breathalyzer, but some say prosecutors are overstepping their authority. News Channel 11's Ben Lawson examines both sides of the issue, and he joins us now with more. Ben?
Karen, now that the DA's office is testing a blood search warrant program. That means if you say no to a breathalyzer, an officer can take you straight to the hospital where your blood will be drawn and tested for alcohol, and you don't have a choice. Law enforcement already does this to suspected drivers involved in an accident causing death or serious injury, but now the process is being expanded.
It's not really anything that new or particularly innovative. This didn't come as a result of any new law that was passed or anything like that. This is just regular old Fourth Amendment search warrant stuff.
Lubbock County Assistant Criminal District Attorney Tom Brumman estimates that from 2002 to 2007, the number of suspected drunk drivers refusing a breathalyzer has grown from 25% to 75%.
Those numbers became alarmingly high, and we knew that we had to make some kind of a response to that in order to still procure those.
Now, Lubbock County is testing a blood search warrant program.
If a person is arrested for DWI, the officer will ask them for a breath sample. If they refuse, then the officer will take them to UMC here in Lubbock and will fill out a search warrant. They send it to a neutral magistrate, a judge, who will review that. And if the judge agrees that there's enough probable cause to search for it, they'll sign it, and then that person's blood will be withdrawn.
They bring them here because they need a hospital and a health professional to collect the blood for the testing. We're not saying that we think the individual is guilty of a crime. We're merely complying with a court order.
Greg Bruce, Vice President and CEO of University Medical Center, says that the suspect is not a patient of the hospital and that an officer remains with them the entire time.
This is no different than what we've been doing for years for individuals that have been involved in an accident that resulted in the death or an injury of an individual.
We're still an early adopter. There are, I believe, 20 other counties that are doing this, and ranging from all sizes. It has been examined by the courts, and they've said that it's okay.
The prosecutors in various jurisdictions, and now obviously Lubbock, are trying to use that case to set up a no-refusal weekend, that type of thing. And so they got warrants, stuck a needle in somebody's arm, and drew blood.
Attorney Stephen Hamilton is against the blood search warrant program.
You have an absolute right to refuse to give a breath sample. What the DA's office has done through the case law is say, well, that doesn't prevent us then from going forward and attempting to get a warrant to take somebody's blood.
That's incorrect.
Brumman says that once you get behind the wheel on a Texas roadway, you give authorities implied consent. It's written in the Texas Transportation Code.
There's not a right not to give a breath test. If that was so, we couldn't bring it up in trial as evidence against you, and we're allowed to do that. You also couldn't face a penalty for doing that. And right now the penalty for not providing a breath sample is a suspension of your driver's license for 6 months. If you had a right not to give that, they couldn't take away your driver's license.
There's a difference between maybe can they do it and should they do it. And there's a difference between what's right and wrong. And I would hope that Lubbock County would say, and the citizens of Lubbock would say, this is just not acceptable.
Our ultimate goal is just to keep people from DWI, but the ones that are going to choose to go ahead and do it, that they're not going to be able to withhold that evidence from us anymore.
Brumman tells us they tested this program during 2 days last month. He says the DA's office was pleased with the results, and they are moving forward with those cases. Brumman also says that they are planning more enforcement dates. Karen Abner will have more details on those dates later this month. Back to you.
Ben, who pays for this testing?
Well, Brumman tells us that it's done through the county, and since UMC is a county hospital, he says that they don't have any extra costs, and he doesn't expect there to be any more added costs, except for possibly more vials for the blood testing.
All right, thank you, Ben.